Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 6 of What If Naruto was an outcast Uchiha in the time of the Sannins. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the final episode. Yes guys, the final episode of What If Naruto was created by the Asusuke clan. But you don't need to worry because you know new what ifs are coming up soon for you guys to enjoy. So stick around for those and I hope you guys enjoy. And also remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, yes, I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King and Making 2 and Making 3, which I post what if on every single day. Yes, that's correct, every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead, click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking about to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, with this we begin this new episode start. The intro. So the last time we left off, Naruto explained to Sannin what their sensei wanted him to do regarding the bell. As she realized that he used her to get the bell. As she saw it in his face, he was deeply sorry. Using her to get the bell was something that he hated doing with every fiber of his being. And that is why he let none of the others come towards her, because he didn't want her hurt either. But she told him to never do it again, as he promised he never would. As she fell asleep in his arms. The whole team ended up falling asleep out there. Some time passed. Dai came to wake up Naruto, as Naruto saw there was Sakamo as well, looking like he was already dead. As Dai dragged the both of them out in the early morning for a brief sprint around the village. When they first made their way towards the tower with their sensei, as they expect some awesome cool mission, what they got though was to move crates towards the village. Tobirama knew that they could not complete it in a time span that he gave them, but he wanted to see just how much they would move with the effort of knowing that they had a time span. When they got there, the 3 boys were alarmed as they couldn't believe it. The place was large and there were so much crates there, as there was just so much to do. But the mind of Sakamo quickly went to work as they created something like a pulley to push the crates down on as they got them to the village. By the end of the day, Sasuke came to visit Tobirama, who was rather shocked that he actually completed the mission. The man was surprised, he couldn't believe it, but it was done. The team was something else, of course. We then had a time skip. Team 7 had done a lot of missions so far, as Tobirama believed that the time would be coming very soon. He also told Sasuke to give Naruto off tomorrow as there was something that he wanted to speak to him about. He did not exactly tell him what it was about though. When Naruto was going home, he saw Sannin as he walked with her, as he brought her to the shrine to say a prayer. She also said her prayer regarding him, hoping that he would be fine out there in his missions. As he kept on treating her like she was younger than him, like she was some child. But she loved the affection very much, as they hadn't gotten to see much of each other lately because of all of the missions. As Naruto took part in his first meeting regarding the Uchihas, it wasn't that important or anything really said. Tobirama came by toward his house as Naruto was surprised. The man sat down with him as they chat, as he asked Naruto how would he like to, go to somewhere even larger than this, but Naruto refused, as Tobirama could see that he was upset. Tobirama was thinking of moving the Uchihas to the outskirts of the village, as he claimed that there was prisoners here that he didn't want, roaming around with the police force right in the center of the village. But Naruto refused. But before he left though, Naruto told him something that would change his decision. The little cub that he had, when he had visitors that he didn't want to see her, he placed her in a closet, but when he leave her there too long, she started to fight back and clash back until she break the door down. as he told him that, pushing something back, eventually that it would snap. As Tobirama understood the meaning behind those words, when he went to speak with Danzo, the others, Hiruzen, all of them were there. He came to a decision, no, he would not be moving the Uchihas. Sasuke was surprised even though he didn't want the Uchihas to move. Knowing his friend, he knew that he didn't really like the Uchihas that much. So when his election of Hokage came, he thought the Uchihas would be put out on their ass. But this was a rather surprise change. Something that he was happy for, that the village would not ostracize them like that. So with that, it was finally time. The mission that they were going to be given was one that would test them as a shinobi. As Sasuke was not supposed to participate, when they got to the village, Sasuke told them that they were supposed to burn the village down to the ground. Eliminate all of the bandits there. It was their job to clean up everything and left no one behind. The group was shocked. The boys couldn't believe what they were hearing, but Sasuke told them that he would not be participating either. It was their job to kill all of the bandits there, and not leave a single one of them or the village standing, as he left them to do this job. As the three of them looked towards each other, this was their first serious mission. So quickly they never expected. So yeah guys, it's basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the playthrough for yourself, and also remember to stick around for the rest of what's coming your way, and also go ahead and check out the final episode of What If Naruto was created by the Uchiha clan. And I enjoyed that guys over Anime King 3, which I hope you guys do enjoy. So yeah, without further ado, what used to be a leap right into this new episode guys. Without any more talk, let's begin guys. What are we gonna do now, said Dai, as their sensei had just left. For the first time, Sakamoto looked away, unable to answer his friend as Naruto started to walk away. But he was grabbed, he was pulled back. You can't seriously think of doing this mission, are you? Sakamoto asked. But Naruto reached and gripped his collar and pulled, his face close to his. What do you think I'm gonna do? He hasn't given us much of a choice, now has he? As Sakamoto saw the look in Naruto's eyes. Guys, don't fight. It is not youthful, Dai said, as Sakamoto loosened his grip on Naruto's collar. As the blonde pushed him back. I'm sorry. Both of them muttered at the same time, as they fell silent. Dai would have smiled any other day, but today he just watched as Naruto started to step towards the camp. Sakamoto, what should we do, Dai said, as he was not in the right state of mind right now. I don't know, Dai. I just don't know. As he hit the bark of a tree. He felt a hand on his shoulder as he looked to see Dai, giving him a look of understanding. Let's go, my friend. Naruto won't be able to do this alone, he needs us, just as we need him. As Sakamoto nodded his head, Dai was right, as he turned to see Naruto walking quite a distance already, and he didn't seem like he was gonna stop. As the both of them walked right after Naruto, none of them noticed Sasuke watched from afar, and how his grip tightened on the branch, as he started to bend and crack under the force. But he released it and crossed his fingers. He had to do his part of the mission. Time skip as Naruto crouched in a tree, as his teammates landed by his side. There's the main camp, said Dai, as Sakamoto placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder this time. There was no tenseness, he was just calm. Are you sure about this? He asked one final time if he was going to go through with this. Then so would he. As Dai nodded to Sakamoto as well, as he understood as well. As they both looked towards Naruto. No, the blonde said, as he was being honest. The both of them blinked surprised, not expecting this, with his reaction so far. But we have to do this, it's our mission. And it's not like those people are innocent. They're bandits, meaning rape, murder, extortion, is what they do for a living. I mean, the village would never send us to kill innocent people. Naruto tried to comfort his friends, but more so himself, with his words. And besides, there is no emotion on a mission, remember? He asked Sakamoto, who nodded back, as he remembered the 25th rule in the ninja book. How are we gonna do this then, asked Dai, as he finally accepted the mission to heart. As Naruto noticed that Sakamoto was in no state of mind to think clearly at all, so he decided to take charge this time. His hand slipped back to the pouch on his hip as he pulled out a bunch of red tags with kanjis on them. He split the small bundle in 3 different parts and handed each of them a part. We will go around the camp silently as possible. We will put this all over, and then we will meet over there. He pointed to a small abandoned bonfire. that was probably used as set for the people last night. But it would now provide a perfect place for them to regroup. And then Sakumo asks, as he looked towards Naruto, wanted to hear from his lips that he was going through with it. But Naruto did not answer, instead he sunshine away. As Sakumo saw Naruto rushing towards the camp, as he turned towards Dai, you go for the eastern part, Dai. Leave the western part towards me. Dai nodded as he rushed off towards the eastern part of the tent. Back with Naruto, he leaped over the makeshift wall, his eyes looking around so he would not be spotted by anyone. He ran past a couple of tents, slapping attacks on them, being as silent as possible as he whipped in and out of the darkness, keeping himself really stealthy. He saw a man walking by the tent as he ducked. As he hid behind the bush, the man turned around as he glanced. Naruto flipped over and threw a tag as it landed right on the man's pants. As Naruto moved off, leaping, he landed on top of a tent, his Sharingan flashing to life as he looked around to make sure he had tagged the place correctly. He had given them his own tags. Unlike normal tags, these tags were made by him and Mito, and they were more concentrated than normal one. These could take down normal sized wall if need be, so he knew at least their death would be swift and painless. That was the least that he could do, considering that he was gonna blow them all up. As he slipped down several tents, flipping and moving, before he moved towards the destination behind the large pack of logs. As Sakumo and Dai appear a moment later. Alright, you guys done? He asked as he got a nod from both of them. As he nodded back, peering over as they looked towards the tent that they were about to infiltrate. Two guards were at the entrance of it. Come on, he whispered, as both of his teammates nodded, hopping out of their cover position and following each other in the same crouch. As Naruto reached the back of the tent, as he placed his arm over his shoulder and held onto the handle of his blade. As he pulled it out, the blade hummed softly as he poured wind chakra through it. As Naruto sliced a U shape in the tent, it was rather large so no one would notice, and he could sense no one right here. They slipped in as it came back down like it was never cut to begin with. They hid behind a few boxes as they heard laughter. Sakumo reached as he pulled Naruto into the corner at the right moment because someone walked past, drinking, as they once more walked around slapping explosive tags all over. As Dai gave them a signal as he pointed towards a room. As Naruto and Sakumo peered in, there were 6 people sleeping in there. The liquor stench was rather strong. The 3 of them slipped in the room quietly. As a breeze of death, Sakumo reached as he pulled out his own white blade. With a soft movement, as Dai pulled out a kunai, they moved towards the sleeping people in the room. The 3 on the right snoring away, unknown to them the threat that was over their companion's head. Sakumo held his blade in a reverse grip, his teammates doing the same, as Dai held onto the back of his kunai so it would be quick and fast. As Naruto's hand trembled in fright to what he was about to do, a bead of sweat ran down his face, going over his eyelid and falling down, as he did not even blink once. As he looked towards his target's sleeping face, he gulped as his eyes watered, as he felt his resolve trembling for a moment. What am I doing? Am I really going to? His thoughts trailed off as his target eye flickered a bit. The man's eye opened up. What? Naruto brought down his blade, as it ended so quickly. The thing that Naruto focused on was the man's eyes, as they rolled in the back of his head, as he just died. Hearing the sound, Dai and Sakumo proceeded to do the same thing. As Naruto collapsed on his butt, some of the blood splashed up on his face so he reached up and touched it. As he looked towards his hand, I killed him, he chanted inside his head over and over. As he hyperventilated, Dai and Sakumo were in better condition than their friend, but in their shocked state they could not see what was happening to their beloved friend, as they couldn't believe what they had just done. As the both of them looked at the blood, they had killed someone. As Naruto's Sharingan flared to life, the 3 tomos in his eyes spinning with a new vigor even more than before. But then it happened so quickly. The 3 of them were chopped in the back of the neck, as the 3 of them fell unconscious. Time skip. The outskirts, a few miles outside of Konoha, a small bonfire was in the clearing as a man sat there, his trusted cigar on his lips, as he scanned the scroll in his hand. So that is what you had planned if they did not go through it, Tobirama. Sasuke mumbled to himself as he glanced towards his three Jennings, sleeping in their sleeping bag, unaware of anything, as the only thing they were focusing on right now was their forced slumber. His hand reached his forehead as he rubbed his temples, as he released a breath. Even if he had not done anything physically taxing, he could already feel the weight of his emotional drain starting to take a toll on him, and he has yet to speak to his students about the past events to see how they were doing. Another sigh escaped his lips. This teacher stuff was pretty demanding. He heard him mumble as he looked up to see. The blonde was waking up. Naruto sat upright as he blinked a few times. He glanced around sleepily. His brain had yet to take in everything yet, but he noticed his two sleeping teammates. Instantly, he remembered what happened. Sasuke looked in his eyes. He no longer see that innocent flicker. He had done what shinobis do. He had taken a life, something that he had never done before. As he looked down towards his hands, Naruto, Sasuke called, as Naruto's ears twitched to show that he was listening, but he did not move. Naruto, look at me. Naruto glanced up, but he averted his eyes the moment he did. Sasuke released a soft sigh. He knew it would be the hardest for the most caring of the bunch. And that was 100% true in this case. As he stood to his feet, as he crouched down beside the child, who was just staring down toward his palms, as his arms snake around him and pull him close, as he pat him on the back gently. It's alright. And just like that, his hands came up and hugged his sensei like he was a lifeline to him. Sensei, the man just held him tighter, letting him know that he was alright. The boy did not cry. He knew he wanted to, but he was holding himself back, and Sasuke was proud of him. With as gentle as Naruto was, to hold himself back like this, with nothing to hold back his emotion, was a great feat. Sensei. As Sakamoto looked down, what's the matter, Naruto? He said. Tell me. As you couldn't bottle up something like this, you had to let it out. Why? Why did we have to do that? Sasuke knew that this would be the defining moment for him to understand what it was like, as he thought about his years of experience. And it came down to this. It is just the way our world works, Naruto, he said, as he placed a hand under his chin. We kill, or be killed. Naruto looked towards him as he seemed to absorb all of what his sensei said. It is as simple as that. As he pulled in a long drag of smoke before he released it. It is this way. As of today, we were responsible for the few deaths of a few 10 common bandits. However, had we let them live, they would have went on to murder several times the people of their own count. And that isn't even counting the small loots that they will perform, rapes, and several other crimes. That is even worse than murder itself. By killing a few, you save a lot of people today, Naruto, he explained in his ever calm tone, as he got a hesitant nod from the boy, as a hand clasped his shoulder, as Naruto looked up into his eyes. Some people are beyond saving. That lesson is one I want to embark on you, Naruto, he said. You may try to save as much as you can, but a day will come when you realize that some people are just beyond saving. When they cross that bridge or line, that is where you must make the hard decision and end it, before they may or may not hurt some people close to you. That is what I learned over the years, Naruto. Remember my lesson well, because it may help you in the future. As he ruffled his hair, Naruto nodded his head, thankful for the words, as he wiped his eyes of the unshed tears, as he sat beside his sensei as he went on to tell him a few of his story about the past. The next day, Sakamoto and Dai had taken it better than he thought. A little shedding of tear from one another, but they readied themselves, and that small innocence that they had, it had been lost. As they knew, it doesn't matter what happened from this point on. They had committed the act of a ninja, but they were shinobis. It was something they had to do, and with the talks from Sakamoto, it had helped them a lot. Alright kids, we're going to be taking a detour. Detour? Asked Sakamoto. What detour, sensei? Our mission is done, is it not? Naruto asked. As Sasuke nodded. Then, shouldn't we head back and report a mission done as procedure, Naruto asked. Yes, that is a procedure. But I had a secondary mission with a choice. I could choose whether or not to take you with me on this one. Had you had failed the previous one, you would have to accompany me without choice. But you all pass, he said as he hopped onto a branch. It is your choice, children, whether you wish to come with me or not. The things that you will see next, it is not something that you would like to see. You may very well return to the village, or you may follow me. Either way, it will not be held against you in the least. I'll be waiting by the river for 5 minutes. Those of you that wish to come may come there. The rest may return to the village, and we will report in when I return together. As he jumped off the next branch and disappeared in the foliage. What could he mean by not something you like, said Dai. But the group had no idea. I say we follow him, said Sakamo. I don't really know. I mean after last time. Who knows what it might be, said Dai. As Naruto was agreeing with him on each and every word. As they all had came to the agreement without even saying it. Either they all went or none of them go. As Naruto glanced up to the heavens, he watches a small bird flew off as he smiled. Let's go guys, he said. As Sakamo nodded as Naruto placed a hand on Dai's shoulder. Come on Dai, he said. Let's go. All of his nerves washed away as Dai nodded. It was then that Naruto saw the fire ignite in Dai's eyes. And it was too late to calm him down. Yosh! Let our power of youth explode! As he grabbed onto the boat with their wrists, both of them knew what was coming before they could even utter a word. He took off, with the both of them in tow, like ragdolls, moving through the bushes. Sensei, let's go, we're ready. Sasuke turned and he heard a voice. His energetic student flew through the bushes, with his 2 other students covered in leaf. Dai blinked, seeing his sensei gaze, as he turned and looked sheepish, as the both of his teammates were trying to shake off the cobwebs and clean themselves up from his youthful trip. Sasuke couldn't help but smile seeing them argue amongst one another. Like the past, they had been forgotten, and as long as they had each other, they would be fine. As he jumped down and Sakamo bumped Dai on the head and scolded him like he was a child. Alright, break it off, let's go. As they move off, the 3 of them seem to be ready for what's about to come. Sensei, what's the mission? Sakamo asks. The elder Sarutobi said nothing for a few moments, pondering on whether or not this was the right decision for him. He glanced back as he saw their innocent faces. They need it, he told himself. They still don't know what they're going to be up against in the coming future. It's my burden to bear because they need to grow up now, he drawled out inwardly. As he released a breath, we have another B rank assignment, he said, breaking the silence. Naruto's feet met a branch as he hopped onto the other one. What is it, Sensei? He asked. It's a simple scouting mission. We have to go close to the border and scout out what is going on there. That is a mission, he said. Dai was confused, so were the others. Then why is it a B rank, Sensei? You'll see. That's all Sasuke said, as he increased his pace. As the 3 of them did the same. Time skip, a small clearing near the Konoha grass borders. Sasuke halted his sprint as he came to a stop on the tree, causing all of them to stop as well. Dai was about to voice a question until Sasuke placed a finger to his lips. Tell him to be quiet. It was then that Sakamo and Naruto heard something coming from the front. Clash! Something was clashing. Boom! An explosion. They both parted the leaves from the tree, and they peered over what was going on the other side. Their eyes widened as numerous Genins were fighting down below, on the ravine leading down towards the edge of the border. Naruto watched in stunned silence as the shinobi leap, and cleave his kunai through another shinobi juggler, and move on like it didn't even happen. Dai and Sakamo were watching on at the bloodshed that was going on, that was almost at its peak. Sensei, Sakamo and Dai whispered. What is this? Naruto finished, as he could barely keep his stomach down as he watched them slice right into each other's flesh. The brutality, showing no shred of mercy. This is a truth that is lay wait for us shinobis, Sasuke said. There was sadness in his eyes as he spoke, but he did not let them take their eyes off the scene. It would do them no good, and they would hesitate to an early grave on the battlefield. But why, Sensei? Aren't we allied mutually with the others? Sakamo said as his eyes looked towards the crimson ground, where blood had sprayed all over, smoke rising up here and there. Alliance are just that, merely papers and words. The only way it matters is if the allied nations truly believe in the peace that they want. A painful moan could be heard. As Naruto heard it, someone was wincing in pain. No, but it was too late. as Sasuke watches Naruto leap, going straight down there. Naruto jumped as he slipped and leaped down the ravine. As he rushed past smoking craters, several corpses lying all around him, he couldn't help but grimace. It was like part of hell had summoned itself down towards the world. His feet came to a stop by the only breathing person there, as he instantly started to check on the man's wounds. The man was clad in all red. He had a kunai where his liver was supposed to be, and he was bleeding rather badly. A fatal wound, one any shinobi was trained for, and would be proud to mate upon his enemy. The man tried to speak. What? Blood came from his mouth. What? Water, he wheezed out. As Naruto reached behind him and unscrewed a small canteen and placed it at the man's lips. As Naruto was focused on the wounded man, he did not pick up on the soft footsteps coming behind him. As Naruto used some of the water to wash off the man's face, so his wounds would not be infected. As the man slowly tried to open his eyes to look upon his savior. As Sasuke arrived beside Naruto. Sensei, hand me some bandages. This man needs a slash. A kunai was placed directly in the man's skull, killing him instantly. Naruto's eyes widened as he heard something clang. That is when he saw the man's hand had a kunai in it as he dropped it. The man was about to stab him right through his throat. As Naruto stood there in utter shock, as Naruto couldn't understand. Why? He was gonna kill you, Naruto. It was either you or him. But why? He was dying. I was trying to help. As Naruto couldn't understand why the man wanted to stab him. He was trying to save his life. Naruto, look at his headband, Sasuke said, as Naruto's eyes settled upon the red piece of cloth with a stone symbol on it. He's a stone ninja, Naruto, and skirmish between the leaf and the stone has been at an all-time high unknown to you kids, or the village except for us, higher-ups. He explained, got a small, nub and weak nod from the blonde. But I was just trying to... Sasuke pulled Naruto towards him for him to look in his eyes. This is not a simple fight between two shinobis, where you may show a little mercy to a dying man, Naruto. This is a fight between nations. As soon as that man noticed you, the first thing he noticed was the leaf headband. That was all that he needed to end your life, to leave a small mark on his dying breath for his village. Naruto, we are almost at war, he whispered, shocking the two genins behind him as well. Just as Sakamoto was about to argue about the Treaty of Neutrality, he was cut off by Sasuke's stern voice. The last few missions we have been doing over the past few months, tell me, what were they, he asked. As Sakamoto thought it over, we have been bringing back supplies stuck into the village from our secure warehouses and from our farming villages. And tell me, Sasuke said, cutting him off, when does a shinobi village restock its supplies? As Sakamoto's eyes went wide upon the realization of the man's words. Look around you, Naruto, Sasuke said, as he knew they all had to hear this, so they can be prepared for what is to come. We are at the most tense situation with the other nations since the past few decades. The Hokage knows it, but he's keeping tight-lipped, so the civilians would not forced to react and destabilize within our walls. The higher ranked shinobis know it as well. We are almost on the verge of war, Naruto, and this is what it will look like when the spark ignite the flames. As he placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder to turn him to face his eyes. You are the one that worried me the most, child. Even now, as soon as you heard a man was hurt, you ran out. Whether it be an enemy or ally, you need to understand that not everyone will think like you. The world is not what it seems. This is what will become of most of these lands in the coming time. You need to harden up. As he saw a few drops at the corner of the child's eyes. As he pulled him into a hug, the boy sniffled, as he was finally realizing and accepting the truth. Kindness will only lead you into despair and death in the coming time, children. This scouting mission was a choice I had to make to let you see this, or if I not believe that you were truly ready. But I want you kids to be truly ready, because I will not always be around when what awaits us is truly right upon our heads. We will be short on manpower, and me going on missions with you will be scarcer than ever before. So promise me that you will always be ready to do what it takes when the time calls for it. As he got a small nod from Naruto in his arms, he looked towards the other two who were crying, as he motioned for them to come over, as he hugged all three of them. As he let the three children know, now Shinobi cried out in his arms. They were so young, but they had to face the world for what it truly is, a dangerous, corrupted place, where they had to fight to survive. For what it was worth though, he was glad to be their teacher, even though he had to be the one to let them see this. But he would not let them die. He would not let them froze up on the field and just die like countless others who were not ready for the world. He loved these three idiots too much to let that happen. A few days later, Konoha, the paths leading through the village towards the Great Walls could be seen. As the team made their way, Sasuke couldn't help but notice how serious they had become. Since the past few days, it tore him up to not see them as antics as before. But their antics came back every now and then. But still, it was different. Their eyes were different, their demeanor was different. Welcome back to the village, Sasuke-sama, the gate guard said, as the Sarutobi nodded and signed his team in. Go on home, you three, he said. I'll take care of the report to the Hokage. Get some rest. You guys deserve it, he said. As the three of them nodded, as they made their way off, as Sasuke watched him walk off before he made his way towards the Hokage's tower. As Sasuke walked, not Sannin this time, as he got several nods of recognition, as he nodded back and greeted the people, as he arrived towards the receptionist. Sasuke-sama, Hokage-sama is a little busy right now, but if you can come back a few minutes. He walked past her, like he did not even notice, as he knocked on the door. I'm busy, a voice said. It's me. Come on in. He stepped inside, leaving the baffled secretary right there. When he arrived and he saw Tobirama with a cup of tea in his hand on the couch, as he pulled up a chair. They did it, Sasuke said. I see, said Tobirama as he took his last sip and placed the cup aside. All of them, he asked, as Sasuke nodded. Very well, Tobirama said, as he placed on the written report. Don't give them any mission for a week. I request. Tobirama raised his hand, stopping Sasuke. I'm not going to, said Tobirama, as he got to his feet and made his way. He picked up a scroll and tossed it. As Sasuke caught it. What's this, he asked. Read it, Tobirama said, as he saw the land of iron seal on it. Sasuke unfurled the scroll, his eyes flicking from left to right. With each word his eyes widened, his face showing a look of disbelief. As he read it completely, he glanced toward Tobirama, who had his back turned, his gaze looking through the window. You can't be serious. Kumo is proposing to settle the skirmishes on our border between a meeting between myself and the Raikage. It is only logical to make a move like this. Sasuke cut him off, rather angry. It's a trap, you dumbass. As his temper kicked in, Tobirama did not scold him or anything. He was the only one that he would let these things slide. He had been with him for far too long. Far longer than he can even count. And the things and the time that he had been there for him. This was why the only one that he would go to counsel on this matter was him. Because he trusted him for his blunt response. Sasuke got up and grabbed the man's shoulder. Tobirama. But Sasuke froze and he saw the man's eyes. They weren't cold and emotionless as usual. They were tired. It was like someone who had accepted a unavoidable fate. A grim one. This is a trap. You know, right? Tobirama raised a hand, cutting him off as he placed it on his shoulder. I know it's a trap, Sasuke, he said. He had not been a Kage for so long to not know it was a trap. But Sasuke was confused. He couldn't understand why the hell he was going to this facade peace meeting then. As the man turned his back, Sasuke noticed his hands were tightly gripped. What's the matter, Tobirama? He said. What aren't you telling me? It was then that the mask cracked, as a pulse of chakra erupted from the man and cracked the ground around them. The fury was not directed towards him though. The whole tower felt the force of the second Hokage's power. If it was any other man, they would have been running, but Sasuke stood there, as Tobirama brought his hand down and slammed it on the table. The wood buckled as scrolls rose up in the air before they collapsed back down. They have them. They have Misa and Roku. They have Snatty parents with them, the man said. Sasuke's eyes widened in horror when he heard that, but he couldn't think for the life of him how they got their hands on them. They were not field shinobi, they were medical ninjas. Preferred to work at the hospital. They had gone to the sand for some rare herb picking that was needed urgently. For a surgery in the hospital, Tobirama said, seeing what the man was wanting to ask even though he did not voice his question. As Sasuke asked then the scroll, he said, "It was found on the borders of the sand and Konoha." With these, he pulled out 2 leaf headbands and one from Kumo. And now Sasuke understood everything. It was to draw him out. This would lead to war immediately if it was ever heard by the council. "What are you gonna do then?" Sasuke finally asked the $1,000,000 question as Tobirama collapsed down in his chair. "What do you think I'm gonna do?" He asked him as if he was stupid. Sasuke gripped his shoulder with stern eyes. "Tobirama, you're not thinking straight. Just think about this clearly. It's a trap. You are allowed only one single bodyguard, while the Raikage will be there, with God only know how many shinobis." Sasuke was undeterred as Tobirama knew what he was about to say. "For all we know, Misa and Roku are dead." Tobirama slapped his hand away harshly though, when the words sunk in. "But there's a chance that they are slap." Tobirama looked towards Sasuke, his eyes widened. Shock to what just happened. His cheek still a bit red. "The conditions were met," said Sasuke. Tobirama's eyes widened slightly, behind the hidden meaning of those words. He himself had given the man permission to do so. If the man ever was going to do something that wouldn't benefit anyone other than his own selfish desires, if ever he was about to do something reckless. "You're being reckless, old friend," Sasuke said. Tobirama released a humorless chuckle when the realization settled on him. "I know," he said, like it was as clear as water, and Sasuke was growing more worried by the minute. "But this is something I have to do." Sasuke was about to say something, but "I won't be able to face my family if I did not. I won't be able to look Hoshirama in the eyes in the afterlife, Sasuke. This time, I have to be reckless." He finally spoke the truth. As Sasuke saw the look in his friend's eyes, he knew that no matter what he said, he was gonna do it. "This is going for a personal vendetta, Tobirama. I don't like it. Not one bit." Sasuke sighed, seeing that the man would not change his mind. "So be it. I'll accompany you to the summit myself. I don't trust anyone else to look after you." But Tobirama shook his head. "I want you to act as a Kage in my stead if anything should happen to me, Sasuke." But Tobirama was cut off as he saw the look in his friend's eyes. "You are going to die now. That is a fact. You will not throw it all away and just die and left all the people that look up to us. Install a state of emergency. Hand your power over to the Shinobi Council until we return and take back the chair. Tell them of the summit, but keep the abduction to yourself. They don't need to know about it quite as yet. We will come back, Tobirama. I don't feel like dying right now," he stated flatly. But those words moved Tobirama than any other word could have. The spark of life returned in his eyes in a quick second. His hand raised and clasped his old friend's hand in a shake of strength in Airborne, just like they had when they were younger, as their muscles bulged. "Till the end," said Tobirama, as his friend nodded. "Till the end, my old friend," he said. "But we are far from the end. We leave the day after tomorrow. I will inform the council of this new update tomorrow," said Tobirama. Sasuke popping a new cigar as he got to his feet. "You do that. I'll inform my team of our absence then." As he lit up his cigarette, only for it to out, he turned as he frowned towards Tobirama. "Those things will kill you one day. Not as fast as you would, you accursed Senju," as Tobirama smirked. "Go, before I write you up for insubordination to your Kage," he said. As Sasuke simply smirked as he disappeared in a fire sunshine, as Tobirama sat back in his chair, his mind calm and clear. As he released a breath. Time skip. 2 days later. Cling, cling, cling. The sound of metal clinging together as Tobirama placed on his battle armor over his usual black and blue clothing he hadn't worn in quite some time now. Not that it made him feel any better wearing it today, but desperate time called for desperate measures, and he was not taking any chances today. Once he was strapped, his palm rested on the hilt of the Raijin no Ken. As he slid it into the gear and clicked it on, he wasn't a man to shy away from a battle, but He wasn't a man to jump into a careless situation either. But the stakes that he had been dealt today was greatly. They were too high. Even if there was a slight chance of them returning back, he couldn't stop. He had to try. He wouldn't leave them out there. Not today. Not ever. "You ready?" A voice said behind him as he nodded. Sasuke had a brown battle armor on. Both legendary shinobi, both armed to the teeth, would have most cowering in fear by a single glance right there and then. "Let's go," said Tobirama, as he walked up to Sasuke and placed a hand on his shoulder. "I will Hiroshin us to the border of the Iron Country. We can't be going by foot and get ambushed by a stupid scheme beforehand," Tobirama said. Sasuke nodded at that. "Well then, let's go. We have things to do and people to greet," Sasuke said, as he nodded as both of them vanished. Time skip. Near the border of iron and fire, a small desolate village. As it was barren of life, it seemed like it was eradicated by a plague years ago. However, that was far from the truth. It had been evacuated a few days ago by the order of the Raikage. As he ascended his best shinobi to scout out the village, now the man sat into the house belonging to the farming union there. The Raikage, second in fact, was a buffed-up man, dark brown hair. He had amber eyes with several scars. He was quite the intimidating sight. The scars were worn as his pride and joy for his success in battle over the years. His right shoulder had on a tattoo for the kanji for black lightning. As he sat on a large leather chair, his cheek resting upon his palm, with several of his best shinobi sitting around, either sharpening their blades or checking upon things for what was about to unfold. "Do you really believe that he will come?" a gruff voice said, as there was little to no respect in that voice, especially when talking to a man like him. But he let it slide. "Yeah, even an idiot can smell out that this is a trap," another rude voice said, but he paid no heed and tapped his finger on the decks. "He will come," he said. There was no doubt in the Raikage word. The statement made everyone around the room pause for a moment. As the Raikage continued, "Those fools from the Hidden Leaf are much too simple to read by anyone. They think with their hearts and feel with their brains. They will be dust by now if not for the rarity that accursed Hoshirama Senju advanced in his walls. Before his death, he growled out as he clenched the paperweight and cracked it in his palm, breaking it apart with nothing but brute force. This was his chance to weaken that spit of a land who had reigned supreme over them since the past war. And he will clutch the title as the strongest. Kumo will reign supreme on top of the elemental nation, and with us at the top, no one will dare to question our militarized ways anymore. Everything they hold precious will be ours. Of that you can be assured of." He spoke proudly as he released a tiny dust that he had crushed the paperweight into. The morale of his men increased with each and every word. As he saw the fire burning within their eyes, he wouldn't expect anything less of them. He had nurtured his village like that for far too long. Than his short-reigned predecessor, Kumo did not call their shinobis like those of the Leaf. They trained them for what they were meant to be: killing machines, real shinobis. There was no place for emotion anywhere on the battlefield. Emotions were a hindrance that killed shinobis on the battlefield. The strength of the village came first, before anything else. Whether they be genin, chunin, or jonin, this is what was drilled into their skull. This is what they must live to understand. "Sir, the sensory barrier has picked up too. Large chakra swords coming at us quickly." A man ran in with the news that he has been waiting for a few days now. A smug smirk came on the Raikage's face as he stopped, tapping on the decks. Each one of them awaited their orders, but he only had one. "Let's go," he said, as he disappeared in a black bolt, with the rest of his men following him. Back with Tobirama and Sasuke. "You sense anyone, Tobirama?" "We're almost there," said Sasuke, as the both of them came to a stop. Upon doing so, Tobirama raised his hand in a ram seal, as he spread his senses. 1, 2, 3. He counted all of the signatures that he could sense. As Sasuke looked toward his friend waiting until the man opened his eyes and nodded to him. 15 chakra signatures, elite jonin at the very least, and 3 Kage level signatures. They aren't taking any chances. But what about Misa and Roku? Do you feel their signatures around? Not yet. Maybe they're holding them in a place that have their chakras suppressed. Tobirama muttered in deep thought, making Sasuke look at him worriedly. Sadness in the man's eyes. He wasn't as optimistic as him right now. Two pure-blooded Senjos within Kumo grasp. The idea only left 2 points to be considered in his season and veteran mind. Either they will hold them in their midst, to use them to gain intel out of them as they please, or they had done what he thought they had, kill them and lure them into a trap by cutting off the leaf head, and lower their morale. This was what any militarized village like Kumo would do. Then there was a least and hopeful situation that Tobirama was clinging his hope onto, that they had been kept hostage to use them as leverage against them. He really hoped that he was proven wrong and the third option was one that the Kumo group had taken, as he followed Tobirama to where the three signatures as come together. The lush of the trees gave way as the boatman leaped down. Sasuke stopped, following the lead of Tobirama. The man's eyes had narrowed in upon itself, as Sasuke's eyes narrowed as he saw someone emerging from the trees. Sasuke was surprised when he saw the second Raikage himself leap down, with two Jonins flanking his side. But that wasn't what confused and surprised Sasuke. No, it was not. It was a smile. The smile that was on the Raikage's face. A warm smile. Meanwhile, at Konoha, "You didn't have to pay for that, you know," said Snetty, as she took another lick from her snow cone, as she walked down the streets of the Uchiha clan, with her usual cheerful smile on her lips. Her hazel eyes turned to see two fingers coming towards her face, as they tapped her on the forehead as usual. She couldn't help but scowl, as she saw that friendly smile on his face as usual, as she ignored and licked her snow cone. "So, what are we gonna do today?" As Naruto seemed to be thinking hard about it, as he glanced up toward the sky. Before he finally spoke, "I don't know," he said. She didn't even think that she could. She sweat dropped at his response, as she continued to devour her treat, not to mention she was enjoying her time. "Yush!" A voice boomed behind them, and Naruto sighed tiredly, as he already knew what was coming for them. As Snetty took a final bite, and threw the tissue aside, as she turned to see the orange scarf, green clawed Genin running towards them, as she pulled her fist back. As the green blur rushed towards them, his arms extended wide to hug the both of them. Bam! Her fist made contact and threw him to where it came from, as Snetty smiled happily. "There, that take care of that. I told him not to hug me like that," she said, as Naruto's sweat dropped, as he pulled up a stick and started to poke the unconscious Dai. That was the scene that Sakumo walked onto. He smiled. If he was someone else, he would have been surprised, but these were his weird friends. So he picked up a stick as well and started to poke Dai. "Come on, Dai, wake up," he said. His eyes snapped open. "Yush! Such youth," he said. "You truly are the epitome of youth, Snetty-san," he said, his voice booming happily, as she giggled at his words. "Hey Dai, what were you rushing towards us for?" said Naruto. "Oh, I have found myself a new youthful teacher." They raised an eyebrow at his words. "The taijutsu master that you were looking for," said Sakumo, as Dai gave him a big thumbs up. "Yes, Sakumo, I have finally tracked the man down." His friends couldn't help but feel happy for him. "But he has refused to teach me anything. He said that I'm not worth teaching anything," he looked down, rather sad at that. "What? But why would he refuse you?" said Snetty, as the boy looked down, his eyes shimmering, as both Naruto and Sakumo looked like they wanted to kill that bastard who put their friend in this state. "He said I was unyouthful. In fact, I have no youth at all." "So what?" said Snetty as she patted him on the head. "Go and show him what you're made of," as she cheered him on, only for his eyes to light up in flames. She fanned his flames with just a few words. "Yush!" as he launched himself towards her for a hug. Bam! His face was once again in the ground. "No hugging me," she scolded him, as he looked a bit cheapish, his weird tendencies that just took over some time. "Let's go, Dai," said Naruto. "Yeah, let's show him what we got. He shouldn't have underestimated a member of Squad 7, said Sakumo. But guys, we interrupt right here. If you want to see next part and do, like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on that bell notification, stay posted, remember to share all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, stick around for the rest of what's coming your way. I hope you guys enjoy each and one of them. But for now, I'm out. See you guys soon. Peace guys. Remember, turn on bell notification. I'm out. Peace guys.